And welcome back to This Week in Kahok Nation. My name is Todd Duke. This gentleman over here, that's Ken Oberkfell. Now, I'm sure there's a bunch of people of a certain age that are probably saying, Ken Oberkfell, that's awesome. That is great. And there's another group that are saying, Ken who? Ken Oberkfell, everybody, is a 1974 graduate of Collinsville High School, baseball player here on this very field where we're sitting in front of, Arthur Fletcher Field. And most notably, Ken Oberkfell was a third baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals back in the 80s when they won the World Series in 82. And we thank you very much for visiting us. It is a pleasure to be able to talk to you.
Oh, thank you, Todd. It's a pleasure for me, too. You know, this is a lot of memories on this field behind me here, but a lot of memories in Maryville and Collinsville, and just all good memories.
Let's begin there. Tell us about growing up in Maryville and your years at Collinsville High School.
Well, the funny thing about it, you know, they said I was born in Highland. Well, I was born in Highland because there wasn't no hospital in Maryville. And they said, well, you grew up in Highland? I said, yeah, for 3 days, and then moved back to Maryville. And Maryville's always been a baseball place. Collinsville's been a, basketball and baseball town. And a lot of sports goes on. And what we did in Maryville, especially in the summers when we were teenagers, we'd always go up to the field behind the old Catholic church up there and play Indian ball every day. Our parents knew where to find us all, and we'd just go up there. We just had to be home, get a little lunch, go back, and be home when the street lights came on.
That's awesome. Love those stories because that reminds me of growing up. When the street lights came on, time to come home. That's right. How'd you get started in baseball?
I just played it in the Little League when I started. I was like 6 years old when I started playing, and I just always liked baseball. My dad played a little bit of baseball in the inner city leagues when they had Maryville Red Sox, and they had teams in Troy. And I'd always go watch games, chase foul balls, and just have a lot of fun. And it's just something I ended up wanting to do. I didn't want to be a fireman. I didn't want to be a policeman. I didn't want to be a doctor. I wanted to be a baseball player. And, fortunately, God gave me a little talent, and I was able to fulfill my dream.
That's funny you mention it like that, because I was going to say, growing up, guys wanted to be firemen, policemen, or baseball players. I know I wanted to be one. Yep. I just never grew up. When did you finally realize that you had the talent that it took to make it to that level?
Probably in high school. In Little League, you just play, you have fun. We played for the treats so we could get a little ice cream after the games. But I'm guessing probably about my junior, senior year, I felt like, this could happen. And not knocking players in the area, but, I was one of the better ones in the area. So I'm like, if I keep working at this, you never know, I might get that chance.
In Collinsville High School, obviously you played baseball. Did you play any other sports?
I played basketball a couple of years. I didn't really play. I, sat the bench, but, it was something sports to kind of get me ready for the baseball season.
Now, the IHSA website, which is what all of us, media-savvy people use now to do our homework on, it doesn't have yearly records for the Kahawks up until 1986, with the exception of the 1941 season when they won the state championship there. I believe 1949 is on there, and then 1980 when they won again, and then 81 the next year when they finished in second place. There's no mention of the records from your times playing. How was the Collinsville baseball teams back when you were on them?
We weren't bad. I mean, my junior year, I thought we had a really good team, and where we would go to our senior year, and we had a player that was disqualified. I guess he was living with his grandmother, but his parents lived in another city. So we had to forfeit all our games my senior year. So maybe that's why there wasn't no records for it. But
and unfortunately, that kind of thing still goes on sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it does. Growing up here, I'm guessing you grew up a St. Louis Cardinals fan?
Die hard.
Yeah?
I was a big die-hard Cardinal fan. Watched them all the time as a kid. My dad would take me and my brothers to the ball games once in a while. We even went to Old Sportsman's Park I think I saw maybe 1 or 2 games there. I don't remember them well, but it was just, we just loved baseball. I mean, it was crazy. I grew up a die-hard Cardinal fan. My dad was a die-hard Cub fan.
Oh, yeah. I married one.
And I used to kid him. I said, Dad, how can you root for the Cubs? He goes, they're in Illinois. I said, they're 5 hours away. You're 20 minutes from Busch Stadium. He goes, I'm a Cub fan.
Who were your favorite players from the Cardinals back in those days?
My all-time favorite player was Ken Boyer. I always liked Kenny Boyer coming up. I got to play, fortunately, which was I got to play with Lou Brock for a couple years, which was pretty cool. But I mean, if you know, they had the good players, but my favorite players was probably Ken Boyer and Julian Javier. I really liked him.
Talk to us a little bit about high school or being a teenager growing up in the Maryville, Collinsville area back in the day, away from baseball. What did you and your friends do to have fun?
Played baseball. I mean, that's basically what we did. Or, you know, we'd camp out. One of my neighbors had a camper. We'd camp out and try not to be getting teenage trouble. But,
right.
But we didn't. We basically just played sports. It was like, you know, if it wasn't baseball season, we'd play basketball. We'd do something. I went out for football one year, and when I think it was my sophomore year, my dad always wanted one of his kids to play high school football, so I said, I'll go out. And I got hit harder by my own teammates than the other team, so I said, this is not my game. I did not want to play football. I'm going to stick to baseball. And that's what we did a lot, played a lot of baseball.
Do you still stay in touch with your teammates from that Collinsville baseball program back then?
A few of them, not many. I mean, don't see them, you know, everybody goes their own way. But there's a couple good, you know, my best friend in the world, Bobby Morgan, you know, I still see him. I'll see, you know, some of the older players that played when I was playing. But, you know, I went to a 40-year class reunion it's been a while back, and it was like, oh my God, this is just how it was in school. Boys would be one side, girls would be the other side, and girls ran the whole program, and we just sit there and had fun.
I went to one of those not too long ago, and it was just like that.
Yeah.
And even the old cliques from back in the day hung out together at the same tables and stuff.
That's exactly what it was.
That's cool. All right, when you were a Major League Baseball player, you batted left-handed and you threw right. How did that come about?
When I was little, I just picked up a bat and I had it in my, you know, like being a left-hand hitter. I had no reason why, it just happened that way, and I had felt more comfortable hitting left-handed, so that's what I did.
Anybody ever try to get you to go to the right side, make you a switch hitter?
I tried that one time in the minor leagues with the Cardinals. I went down to the instructional league just to try to work on switch hitting a little bit. I could hit the ball right-handed. I couldn't get out of the way of the ball right-handed, so I was saying, wait, I'm getting hit 5 and 6 times. I can hit left-handed, and you know, so I just basically stuck to hitting left-handed.
In 1975, you're just a year out of high school, and you get signed to a free agent amateur contract by the St. Louis Cardinals. Tell me what that was like and what was going through your mind when that happened.
Well, we were playing, you know, at BAC then, which is now SWIC, and we got beat in a tournament. And there was a couple Cardinal scouts at the game, so they couldn't talk to us during, you know, while we were still alive in the tournament. So once we lost, we were just picking up stuff and cleaning up, and a couple Cardinal scouts, Joe Mathis and Fred McAllister, came over to me and introduced herself, and they said, you know, the Cardinals were kind of interested in signing me. And I said, well, wow. And they said, we're going to come to your house tomorrow, go home and talk to your parents about it and, you know, get their feelings about it. And I went home and talked to my parents. I said, what do you think? And they said, well, my dad looked at me and goes, you're grown up, you make your decision. Whatever your decision is, we'll support it. Well, it was a no-brainer for me. I was going to be a Cardinal baseball player, so I ended up signing.
Is that the only team that ever contacted you?
I got letters and, you know, stuff like that, but that was the only team at the time. I mean, you know, the draft, it was before the draft. So I basically signed as a free agent, and then someone told me if I would have waited to the draft, I might have been a #1 pick with some team, but I said, I don't care. I'm with my Cardinals.
So you mentioned Belleville Area College, BAC, we knew it as, now it's SWIC. Tell us about those couple of years.
Well, I went there just 1 year in '75. After I graduated, I didn't sign with anybody, so I went to BAC, which is now SWIC, like you said, and was a junior college All-American, and you know, by then I knew I had a good chance to at least play professional baseball, maybe not in the big leagues, but professional. And once I got into it, they asked me at school when I went in to register, they said, what do you want to major in? And you know, I said baseball. That's why I told them. I said baseball. And I said, I went there because you only had to commit for 1 year at a time. So I turned down offers from big schools because I wanted to sign. I didn't care about school. That's bad to say, but I just wanted to play baseball. So after our first year, I signed, and the rest was history.
All right, that is Ken Oberkfell, former Kahok baseball player, former St. Louis Cardinal first baseman, and that's going to do it for our first installment of our interview with Mr. Oberkfell. Join us next week, and we'll bring you part two. Until then, we'll be back in just a moment here on This Week in Kahok Nation.
Code 3 Barbecue Supply, home of Code 3 Spices, is first responder owned by proud Kahok alums. Located at 302 East Main Street, Code 3 Barbecue Supply is your home for one-of-a-kind everything barbecue headquarters, providing the best American-made barbecue grills, smokers, rubs, sauces, accessories, and cooking expertise from professional barbecue experts. Code 3 Spices provides award-winning rubs and sauces and donates 25 cents a unit sold to first responder and military organizations to aid the fallen and assist with suicide prevention and PTSD awareness. Stop on by. See the guys at Code 3 Barbecue Supply for all of your cooking and grilling needs. Code 3 Barbecue Supply, home of the Memphis in May first place World Champion Patriot Sauce. Learn more about their products and mission in giving back to those who serve at code3spices.com. Ogle Auctions in Collinsville, the newest in online auctioning. Go to ogleauctionshighbid.com. That's HIBid.com to check out what's up for bid in the next auction. Ogle Auctions deals with everyday items like board games, t-shirts, and more, to collectibles, whether that is a vehicle, vinyl records, or vintage toys. Or how about a trolley car? And Ogle Auctions is always on the lookout for more items. Check out their next online auction at ogleauctionshighbid.com. That's ogleauctionshibid.com. Or call Kim Ogle today at 618-980-4530.
As the Director of Sports Medicine at Next Level Performance Institute, I oversee the care of all of our athletes, many high school, collegiate, and professional. Our goal is to help athletes stay on the field and maximize their performance. We have state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment where we can actually perform testing to get to the root cause of problems that could be getting in the way of athletic performance. When it comes to taking care of athletes, we take a full-body approach, whether it's musculoskeletal ailments, nutritional issues, organic issues such as headaches, sinuses, digestive issues. We have advanced training to where we can remedy health issues and return that athlete to play as quickly as possible. If you or your athlete are dealing with any kind of nagging sports injury and would like to see if we can possibly help, feel free to give us a call or come by the office anytime.
The reviews are in. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville is a hit in the Metro East. Folks both local and visiting the area are calling Old Herald Brewery and Distillery a must-stop destination in Collinsville. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery is located at 115 East Clay Street in Collinsville and is home to one of the only restaurants in the state with their own brewery and distillery that produces some of the best brews and spirits in the area. And the food, all created by an in-house chef using local ingredients that will please any palate. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville has daily specials including patio service and curbside pickup. Get yourself a bottle or a growler to go, or dine on their patio where you can hear live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Don't forget about Old Herald's open mic night the second and last Tuesday of every month. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville. Check their Facebook page for daily specials, online ordering at oldheraldbrewery.com, or call 855-8027. Pace Design and Construction in Maryville. Whether building a new home, making an addition to the home you currently own, or finally getting around to that remodeling job you've been putting off, Pace Design and Construction in Maryville can help. Pace Design and Construction is a building and remodeling contractor you can trust. They provide the highest quality, they are dedicated to their customers, and are committed to completing your project on time and within budget. Pace Design and Construction in Maryville. Give them a call at 618-407-5466, online at pacedesignconstruct.com, or on Facebook at Pace Construction Design.
The Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been a proud supporter of KahokSports.com and the Kahok Sports Network from day one. Since 1934, the Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been providing women in the community an opportunity to make a difference with fundraisers and projects, all that go towards helping the needy in Collinsville. If you would like any information on any event sponsored by the Collinsville Junior Service Club, head to Facebook, type in Collinsville Junior Service Club, and then click on the Event tab. We thank the Collinsville Junior Service Club for their continued support of the Kahok Sports Network and KahokSports.com.
At Visionary Wealth Advisors, we empower you to see your future before it's your future, to create your inheritance, to build your vision, to anticipate the known and unknown, and to find potential in both, and build new dawns. Visionary Wealth Advisors.
And once again, we welcome you back to This Week in Kahok Nation. Time for part 2 with our interview with Ken Oberkfell, 1974 graduate of Collinsville High School, Major League Baseball career, most notably with the St. Louis Cardinals here in our neck of the woods. So we went through the early days. Let's go up to the day you made your Major League Baseball debut, August 22nd, 1977. Tell us about when you got the call and what went through your mind.
Well, we were sitting in our apartment. I was playing AAA ball, and our team was in New Orleans. And me and my wife at the time, Bonnie, were sitting, just sitting around. We had family down visiting and stuff. Well, one of my teammates there, John Tamargo, come knocking on our door, our apartment door. I answer, I said, what's going on? He goes, you need to call the manager, which was Lance Nichols, I think it was, yeah. You need to call, he's trying to get a hold of you. So I finally got a hold of him, and he says, hey, you're going to the big leagues. And I said, is this a joke? Are you kidding me? He goes, no, you got a plane to catch, real soon, to jump on a plane and get to the, try to get to the game tonight. Well, I didn't get there till the next night, but I was like, holy cow, so I'm packing stuff. Fortunately, the good thing is, growing up and living in St. Louis, at least when I got home, I had clothes because we lived there. But they gave me the call, and I got there, and it was like a whole different world for me. And, then I'm sitting there looking at some of the guys I played with, who I watched as a kid, like Lou Brock and Ted Simmons and some of these guys, and they made you feel at home. And that's the great thing about the Cardinal organization. They made me feel at home. I got there. My wife got a speeding ticket going there. Well, they didn't give her a ticket. She goes, you're not going to believe this, officer, but my husband just got called to the big leagues. So I'm trying to get there for his first game. Well, she didn't make the first game, but it was it was a special moment.
I would imagine a young baseball player getting called into the AAA manager's office or getting a phone call, one or two things is going through your mind. I'm either cut or I'm going to the big leagues. Did that thought enter your mind?
Not that I was going to the big leagues, or not that I was even cut. I thought maybe they were sending me back down to AA or something. But no, they said you're going to the big leagues. So, being a manager at times, it's hard when you call a player in because you see it in their eyes and they don't know what they're doing. I was just staring at him like, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? And he just congratulated me and said, I don't want to see you back. And
it was August 22nd, so not much time left in that 1977 season. You didn't get a lot of games in that year, did you?
I had 9 at bats, and I got it in my first big league hit the last game of the season. So no, that was just a call up, and I think they had Don Kessinger at the time, and they traded him, so they needed an extra infielder up. So I was the one they called up.
All right, so 1978. You make it to the bigs for your first full year, I guess, but you didn't spend a lot of time in the bigs that year. You were kind of back and forth, got into 24 games with the Cardinals.
Yeah, I was back and forth that year. I was playing every day at second base in AAA, and I think the Cardinals had Don Kessinger at the time, and I wasn't done. I don't remember what they had. Mike Tyson got hurt, I think, so I came up and it was back and forth, and play a game, maybe sit for a week, play a game. So they wanted me to play, so they sent me back to AAA. And the manager, said, hey, you're back. I said, yeah, I'm back. He goes, you ready to play? I said, I've been sitting for 2 weeks. I'm definitely ready to play. And, you know, I played, and about a week later, they called me back up. And he said, I don't want to see you anymore. And I said, I don't want to see you anymore, too. So I got the call, and I got there, and I was mainly a bench player. You know, I think I only had like 50 at-bats, but it was a good experience to get that leading into the 79 season.
Yeah, I was just going to go there. 79 was your first full season in the big leagues. You played 135 games. You batted .301. You mentioned earlier that one of your favorite players growing up was Ken Boyer. He was the manager of that club, so that must have been cool to get that first full season and have that guy there.
It was awesome to have him there, and you know, he just was a great communicator with his players, just super. And for me, as I even told him, I said, you know, we called him KB a lot, Kenny Book KB. I said, KB, you were my favorite Cardinal growing up. And he goes, oh, that's nice. You trying to talk your way into the lineup? And we were kidding. And then I was platooning a little bit with Mike Tyson. And then Mike Tyson got hurt. And then I became the everyday second baseman and had a good year and never looked back.
Do you remember the opening day ceremonies? They're not anything like they are now, the big pomp and circumstance, and every game is on TV. It wasn't like that back then, was it?
No, back then they just, opening day, your first game, they'd introduce you, you'd run out to the foul line. Yeah, that's basically what we all did. We didn't get to drive around in Fords trucks or Chevys or whatever. But, you know, it's special. Opening day is always special.
None of the dignitaries showed up like they do now. Back in, you know, last few years, we see Lou Brock every day and Bob Gibson, and over Stan Musial and Red Cheney's before those two gentlemen passed away. They didn't do any of that back then.
Not really.
No?
Not that I can remember. No, I mean, you know, we got introduced. Like, we all got introduced, like Brock go out there, or, you know, Red, you know, just different people. And but we never really had the big opening day like they do nowadays.
You guys went 86 and 76 in that first full year for you. 12 games behind Pittsburgh, a little different in that respect, too, because nowadays a lot of teams make the playoffs. Back then, only the winner of the National League did.
It was the National League East and the National League West. And then, you know, you play a best of three, and then, or a best of five it was, I think, and then you go to the World Series. And so only two teams.
We talked about Ken Boyer. Red Cheney's was a coach on that team. Lou Brock was in his, I guess, twilight years, if you will. He was still on the roster. Ted Simmons, Bob Forsch finished in third place. And talk to me about playing with those guys. I mean, we see the names Red Cheney's and Ken Boyer and Lou Brock, and all of us around here think Cardinal royalty. Back then, they weren't as royal, I guess, as they are now. They were just players and coaches and managers to you.
Right. Oh, yeah, they were. But, you know, it was fun. I talked to Red a lot. You know, Red, very good baseball person, so we'd talk a lot. And for me, fortunately, when I was in the big leagues, my locker, I had Lou Brock on one side of me and Ted Simmons on the other side of me. So I learned a lot about baseball, just talking with those guys about different scenarios. And it was a lot of fun.
1980, you guys went 74 and 88. You finished in fourth place, 17 games behind Philly. 41 and 40 on the road, but you guys were 33 and 48 on the road. You were 33 and 48. So there was a big split there between at home and on the road.
Yeah, we were. That was 1980.
Yes.
We were not a very good baseball team. And then, you know, and Boyer got fired later in the year. They brought in Herzog, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little bit. But it was not a good year, and a lot of it was our ballpark was not made for our team. It was a big ballpark, and we had a lot of guys that couldn't run. So it was tough. It was a tough year.
That all changed in 1981 when Whitey Herzog came in. But again, that was a different year, man. That was a strike year. And you had the winner of the first half made the playoffs, winner of the second half made the playoffs. You guys had the best overall record in the National League and got shut out.
Yes, we did. There was us and Cincinnati had the two best records. They would have been in the East, we would have been in the West. Or no, we would have been in the East, they would have been in the West, and neither one of us got to play in the playoffs. And that we were bitter about that as a team, and so we just kind of put our mindset together. And you know, Whitey made a bunch of trades in the off season and different stuff to get our team built around our ballpark. And we just went into spring training with a vengeance, saying, you know, we got shafted last year. That ain't going to happen. We're going to do it this year, and we did.
Yeah, and I graduated in '81, and then I went off into the Army, and I knew when I was going, I'm like, this is the year the Cardinals are going to win the World Series, and I'm not going to see it. I did get to see it in Korea on TV, but that was a story for another day. Great quote from you. Going into, I guess, the 81, there are so many new faces around here. I thought I was traded. That's from you. Did it really? Was it that big of a turnover?
And from the 81 to 82?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was, I mean, Whitey made a bunch of trades. I mean, hell, at one time we had Bruce Sutter and Raleigh Fingers in our bullpen, but, you know, a couple days later he made the big trade with Milwaukee, sending Simmons and Vukovic to Milwaukee and bringing in young guys who could run like David Green. And Whitey just decided, he goes, we're not going to hit home runs. We're playing in a big park. We're playing on turf. We need speed, and we'll run teams to death. And that's what he did. He made a bunch of trades. And the biggest trade I told him he made is said, you know, I wore number 24 when I first got to the big leagues. And when Whitey came, he didn't have number 24. I did. So I told him, I said, I'll trade you 24 for number 10. He goes, you got it. And so that was his biggest trade, as I joked with him.
Was it kind of a culture or a shell shock from the difference between the 70s teams up to the point where Whitey Herzog took over?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Whitey he's just a very, very smart baseball man. And he's done everything. He's managed, he's general managed, he's been a farm director. He just knows the game inside and out. And, you know, we didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, we knew there was going to be changes made after the bad year we had in 81. And that winter, he made a bunch of changes. And we went into spring training in 82. In our mind, we were favorites. Whether we were or not, I don't know. But we played like we were on a mission and one thing, and that was to get the ring.
Gone were Simmons, Ken Reitz, Pete Vukovic. I'm sure all these guys were friends to you. Sure. And here comes the new guys, Gene Tennis, Bruce Sutter, Sixto Lescano, David Green. Talk about the difference between, man, these are guys I know and these are guys I really don't know.
Well, we kind of knew each other just from playing against each other.
Right.
Guys would always communicate. But no, we were, when I finally figured out what Whitey was doing, it made sense. He was getting rid of the slow guys, the big guys, and he knew he wanted, he hated giving up Simmons, but I mean, he had no choice because he wanted Darryl Porter to be his new catcher. And he said, I'm going to have guys who can run. And when you look at the 81 team and then you look at the 82 team, I mean, it was a whole world of difference. Just the players, the way they approached the game, the way they went in. I mean, we had a lot of younger guys. And then he makes the blockbuster trade to get Ozzie Smith. And I think that was the whole key to our winning that 82 championship.
And that right there is where we're going to leave off. Next time we talk to Ken Oberkfell, our final installment here on This Week in Cardinals Nation, or in Cardinals Nation, in Kahok Nation, talking so many Cardinals, I got them all confused. We will dive into the 1982 World Series and then life after the game of baseball and the coaching career of Ken Oberkfell from there. We'll do that next week on our final installment. As we take a break here, we'll be back in just a moment on This Week in Kahok Nation.
Lakeside Roofing in Collinsville. Let the professionals at Lakeside Roofing protect your most important investment, your home or business. Have the elements taken a toll on your roof system? Notice a leaking roof? Maybe it's time for a free roof inspection. Regular maintenance can extend the life of your roofing system by 10 years or more. Lakeside Roofing is your winning team for commercial and residential roofing systems. Lakeside All-Star professionals have installed, repaired, and maintained hundreds of roofs on both sides of the river. Call Lakeside Roofing today at 618-344-2800 in Collinsville or 314-241-5253 or online at lakesideroofing.com. Choose experience. Choose Lakeside.
Hi, Purple and White fans. This is Dan Mode, class of 1989. I'm with New American Funding. Myself and New American Funding are proud sponsors of Kahok Athletics. As we have great coaches at CHS on all the courts, fields, and tracks, we like to coach you through the home buying process and refinance process. If there's ever anything we can do, I can be reached at 618-973-5343 or www.danmodeloans.com. Let's support our student athletes at CHS. They deserve the best. Thank you for your time, and go Kahawks.
Everyone has those projects around the house that you just don't want to do. AW Outdoor Solutions can take care of that for you. Former Collinsville High School graduate Adam Welly owns AW Outdoor Solutions, and he and his crew can handle all of the dirty work around your home or business, whether that's tree trimming and maintenance, brush removal, power washing, gutter cleaning, and leaf raking and removal. AW Outdoor Solutions can handle that and much more. AW Outdoor Solutions is fully insured and offers free estimates on all of their work. AW Outdoor Solutions. Call Adam Welly at 314-252-8010 or on Facebook at AW Outdoor Solutions.
Plumbing or electrical problems? Is your AC or heater on the fritz? There are dozens of companies out there, but do you really know who you're letting in your home? Trust Tiger. Our technicians are clean-cut, drug-free, and background-checked. What other company can make this bold statement? Our 24-hour emergency service will ensure your plumbing, heating, AC, and electric are up and running no matter what time of day it is. Schedule your appointment today. Tiger Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical Services. We earn our stripes every day.
Just because you can cut your own hair doesn't mean you should. The Shop, a great place in Collinsville for men and boys haircuts, is where you should take your hair. The Shop is owned and operated by Collinsville High School graduates Danny Kress and Jody Neiman and is located at 103 South Seminary Street in Uptown Collinsville. The Shop isn't just another place to get a haircut, as Danny and Jody take great joy in getting to know their clients and look forward to turning those clients into friends. When you sit in a stylish chair at the Shop, Jody and Danny pride themselves on getting to know you well enough to say, the usual? So, men and boys, if you're tired of the same old cookie cutter approach to haircuts, check out Danny and Jody at the Shop. You may just walk out with not only a fantastic cut, but you may also walk out with a friend or two. The Shop in Collinsville, 618-772-7175. No appointment necessary. The Shop, 103 South Seminary in Uptown Collinsville.
All Pro Tees in Caseyville is your place for custom apparel and has been for over 20 years now. Why? All Pro Tees can handle any size project, big or small, and they specialize in large group orders. At All Pro Tees, quality is number one on their list of priorities, as is evident by their excellent customer service. Did we mention All Pro Tees has over 20 years of experience? They can even help with fundraisers and event merchandising for your group. So for all of your apparel needs, for civic groups, sports teams, business outings, or even a family reunion, your apparel needs stop at All Pro Tees. All Pro Tees in Caseyville, right across the street from Kahok Stadium. Online at allprotees.com or on Facebook at All Pro Tees. Or call All Pro Tees at 344-2200.
Extreme Details Vehicle Detailing in Collinsville, owned by former Kahok Jay Merkel. At Extreme Details, they believe in the value of community and in helping the community hold the value of their vehicles. A sharp-looking, clean ride that you and your community can be proud of. Extreme Details offers drop-off, pickup, and delivery service, as well as a mobile service, whether that's a simple wash and wax or all the way up to a full detail job. No job is too big or too small for Extreme Details. Plus, Extreme Details offers scratch and oxidation removal and vacuums every vehicle regardless of what package you choose. Cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, and more. Extreme Details in Collinsville, open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday. Call Jay Merkel for an appointment at 301-6033 or 977-1224.
Call Up Jennings Florist, a Collinsville original since 1939. Call Up Jennings Florist has a wide variety of green and blooming plants, specializing in all designs, from traditional to trend settings. Call Up Jennings Florist is of course your place for beautiful flowers, suitable for any occasion. From anniversaries to birthdays, graduations to weddings, Call Up Jennings Florist is there for any life's major moments. Call Up Jennings Florist, 517 West Clay Street in Collinsville. Call 344-0404 or online at callupjennings.com.
Once again, welcome back to This Week in Kahok Nation, our third and final installment with Ken Obergfell, 1974 graduate of Collinsville High School, played third base for the St. Louis Cardinals in their 1982 World Championship season. So let's begin with 1982. You said that you guys were just fuming mad about the way 81 ended up. You weren't very happy about how 1980 ended up. You thought you were better than that. You get to 1982, and you guys are all thinking what?
We had all the pieces in place, and we were just on a mission to go down and have good spring training, blend with everybody, and take it into the season. But we knew that the pieces were there with all the trades that Whitey had made, and he set it up pretty nice. And it was just a matter of us going down to spring training, getting ourselves ready, and leaving spring training with that mindset that, we're going to win this thing this year. And we were pretty consistent all year.
You mentioned all the speed guys that he brought in. You weren't necessarily a speed guy, were you?
No, but I could get him 15 to 20 bags. I wasn't slow, but I wasn't above average. I was probably average speed, but we had enough guys that were above average speed. I was like Whitey had said before, he goes, I was the perfect number 2 hitter in the lineup because I didn't strike out. I'd take a lot of pitches to let the leadoff guy run. And then I'd hit a ground ball to second, they'd throw me out, the guy get to third, and Hernandez would get all the glory by driving him in. It was fun.
You guys went 92 and 70 in that 1982 season. You won the division by 3 games over Philadelphia, swept Atlanta in 3 games to none in the NLCS. Game 2, 3-3 tie, bottom of the 9th. You get the walk-off RBI single. Talk us through that.
Well, the game was tied. I was coming up. We had Suter was behind me. He was hitting behind me from all the double switching they'd made. And Gene Garber was pitching for Atlanta. And I was up at the batter's box, and I said, "You're going to pitch to me?" Because I hit Garber well during my career. And Benedict looks in the dugout and looks at Torrey. Joe Torrey was Braves manager. And he turns back, he goes, "Yeah, we're pitching to you." I said, "Okay, good luck." And, I just hit the line drive. I don't know how Butler missed it. He just barely missed it, and it was like chaos. I mean, other than Bruce Suter striking out Gorman Thomas to win the World Series, that game 2 against Atlanta when I got the hit, it was probably my biggest hit ever.
Yeah. Then you went on to game 3 at Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta. I got to go there a couple of times, by the way. It was a nice stadium for the day. No doubts about it. You guys were like, we're going to just take this game and we're going to be done with this series.
We flew in, checked into a hotel, never unpacked our bags because if we won, we were flying back home. If we lost, we'd stay there. We knew we were going to win. We just were, after winning game 2 and going up 2-0, Atlanta was pretty much throw the towel, because they knew that we had all the momentum going, and we were just looking to see who we were going to play in the World Series, California Angels or the Milwaukee Brewers. So we knew we had it when we went to Atlanta.
Ended up being those Brewers. You beat Milwaukee 4-3. Game 2, 3rd inning, Tommy Hurd doubles to score Willie McGee. You then single in her. As it turns out, was I think your first and only World Series RBI.
Might have been. I might have been. You're right. I might have had another one or two. I didn't really pay attention. I was just trying to, we just tried to play the game the right way, and we had no choice with Whitey because we were going to play it the right way, or it was, we wouldn't be playing. So it was. It might have been my only RBI, but I'll take it.
I guess you would. That's now better, more RBIs than I have in Major League Baseball. 24 at bats during that 82 World Series. 292 batting average. You had 7 hits, including a double, a couple of stolen bases, as you mentioned. Only 1 strikeout, and that is the only time that you struck out in 2 World Series.
I know. I was never a person that struck out. I mean, I would put the ball in play. I had the mindset I would rather hit a ground ball to the pitcher than strike out because they always got a chance to mess it up. So, if you don't put the ball in play, you're not going to have much success. So, I was a great contact hitter, and it was that's why I was a good number 2 hitter.
All right, so 1984 comes and you get traded to the Atlanta Braves. Was that heartbreaking for you?
It was a shock. I mean, usually with the trade rumors, you hear the rumors, but I never heard anything about it. No one heard anything about it, and they called me in. I was at the ballpark. We were taking BP. They called me in, and Joe McDonald and Whitey, and Whitey wanted Ken Daly. He wanted that left-handed pitcher from Atlanta, and so Atlanta needed me because Horner had got hurt, so they needed a third baseman. And Whitey said it'll be a good career move for you. It'll be, you know, not that I want to trade you. We just got to find room for different people. He goes, but you're going to go there. You're going to play every day, and you're going to have a lot of fun. And I did. When I first got to Atlanta, we weren't too bad. We were battling that year in '84, and we didn't win. The Padres ended up winning that division, but it prolonged my career going to Atlanta, and you know, I became their everyday third baseman too. So it was. We didn't win as many games, but it was fun playing there.
Did it hurt even more to see the Cardinals get to the '85 and '87 World Series?
No, not at all. It really didn't. I mean, I rooted for them once they got to the World Series. I mean, now granted, if we were playing them, I would hope to beat the crap out of them. But you know, they were good, and they deserved it, and got to that point. We just never was able to, in Atlanta, get things going. You know.
How weird was it to come back to Busch Stadium as a visiting player that first time?
My first at bat, I can't remember who it was against, but I'm going up to the plate, and they introduced me, announced hitting, and what made me feel good, the fans gave me a great ovation. It wasn't like booing me or nothing like that. It almost made me feel like, hey, they appreciated the stuff I did here in St. Louis too. So I had a little goosebumps, but you know, the game's a game, and you just see I'm trying my best to beat them, but.
After Atlanta, you had stints in Pittsburgh, San Francisco, Houston, and California. Got back to the World Series with San Francisco. Of course, everybody remembers that series for all the wrong reasons.
Right, exactly. That was pretty wild. You know, growing up in Maryville and Collinsville, and going out to Northern California and playing in San Francisco, where you know there's possible earthquakes and different stuff like that. And I just got loose. I was sitting on there in the bench, getting my game face on, and it was weird because the ground started shaking, and I'm like, oh God, what is this? And I realized earthquake. Well, we just all sprinted to the middle of the field. And it was, after that, the World Series didn't mean anything. We you know, our claim to fame was Oakland beat us 4 straight, but it took them 3 weeks.
Yeah, that was a different series altogether. Your last game, October 4th, 1992 with California. Did you know that was the end of your career then?
I knew I was done when the season was going to be over. I wasn't coming back. I had different nagging injuries that bothered me, both my shoulders, my knees, and I said, you know, I've had a great career. I'm fully vested in everything. So I said, you know, I'm shutting it down. This is my last year, and that's what I did. And I worked on my golf game for a couple years, and then I got into coaching.
We'll talk about the coaching carousel there for a while and some of the stops you made along the way.
Well, I first went to independent ball with Dave LaPointe. He got me involved with the independent league in Sullivan County, upstate New York. I did that for about 3 years, and then I got a job with the Phillies, and I managed their A-ball teams for 4 years, and we parted ways. And then the Mets had an opening in A-ball, so I called the Mets of all teams playing for the Cardinals. I called the Mets, and they hired me as Dominican. Was pretty special and exciting because we won 3 out of 4 years there too. So
since the coaching has ended and the playing days have ended, what is Ken Oberkfell doing with himself these days?
A lot of nothing. You know, I'm nursing a sore back that I've had for a while. I'm trying to get my back better so I can get back on the golf course because I've always loved golfing. But other than that, watching sports on TV. What would I do in that situation? You know, just talking. You know, I mean, baseball's hard to watch right now with no fans in the stands. But you know, I keep up with sports. I'm a sportsaholic, I guess you could say. But other than that, I'm just enjoying retirement.
Who's your favorite ball players to watch these days?
Ooh, that's a good question right there. I would, man, I don't know. I really don't know. I would have to guess. I like Goldschmidt. I mean, I've liked him when he was in Arizona. I like him now. Veteran players, obviously Yachty and Wainwright are two of my favorite Cardinals. So, but other than that, I root for him to win.
Who's the toughest pitcher you ever faced?
Steve Carlton.
Yeah, that didn't take you very long to answer, did it?
I think that I'm not sure about it, but I think the first time I faced him, I got a base hit. I hit a triple off the wall, and it was almost like he said, "Okay, kid, there's your hit off me," and I don't think I ever got another hit. It was tough.
Who was your favorite player to watch during your playing days? Like when you knew, okay, we're going to Pittsburgh and I get to watch Willie Stargell play, that's going to be cool.
Yeah, I would say Gary Carter. I liked him. I liked watching him play. Loved watching Dale Murphy play. Loved being able to play with Dale Murphy. Nowadays, man, I don't know. There's so many of them up there. I mean, Pujols was a great player. So,
how about baseball royalty? Who's the one guy you met in all of your years in major leagues, whether it was playing or coaching, that you just regarded as that dude right there is baseball royalty?
Willie Mays. When I played in San Francisco, he'd come in the clubhouse a lot, and we'd sit there and talk baseball for 45 an hour, long. And yeah, I would say he is definitely baseball royalty to me. He might have been the best center fielder to play the game.
That is Ken Oberkfell, former graduate of Collinsville High School, former St. Louis Cardinal baseball great, and World Series champion. They can never take that away from you, can they?
No, they can't.
Thank you for the visit. I appreciate it, and have fun in the rest of your retirement years.
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it, too.
Thank you. That is Ken Oberkfell, and we're going to take our final break here on This Week in Kahok Nation, and when we come back, we'll close everything out. That and more coming up on This Week in Kahok Nation.
Are the lights on your dashboard putting on a show? Bring it to Mike's Automotive in Collinsville. Mike's Automotive is also a T3 certified tire center. They can handle all of the basics like oil changes and tune-ups, and the not-so-basics like complete engine rebuilds. Mike's Automotive also has 24-hour towing and has 3 locations: Millstadt, St. Louis, and in Collinsville. The Collinsville location is at 1150 St. Louis Road, just blocks from the high school. Or call 345-0611, online at mikesautomotive.net, and Mike's Automotive on Facebook.
Pack Mail of Collinsville, locally owned and operated by Ryan Combs. Pack Mail can ship anything, anywhere. They treat you like a neighbor because, well, you are a neighbor. Pack Mail offers shipping materials and containers, private mailboxes, as well as climate-controlled self-storage. Visit Pack Mail at 407 Beltline Road in Collinsville. Online, WeShipStLouis.com, or call Pack Mail at 346-4884. The Collinsville Education Association is a proud supporter of KahokSports.com and the Kahok Sports Network. The CEA is your partner as they work to ensure quality education for our children. The CEA advocates excellence and equity in public education and represent over 400 educators in 11 schools in both Madison and St. Clair counties. For more information, you can visit the Collinsville Education Association's Facebook page or the CEA's website at collinsvillecea.org.
Metro East Roofing and Guttering. Locally owned and operated since 1987 by brothers and Kahok alums Tony and Corey Jones. Metro East Roofing is your place for residential, commercial, or industrial roofing, guttering, or siding. Choose Metro East Roofing and Guttering, where quality is first and the job is done right the first time. Located at 1231 Lebanon Road in Collinsville, Metro East Roofing and Guttering is the hometown company you know and trust. Call 618-345-5679 today for your free estimate and visit their Facebook page at Metro East Roofing and Guttering.
Looking to buy a new home or sell your current one? Trust the Blaylock team of Keller Williams Marquis Realty with all of your real estate needs. The real estate market is hot right now. Trust the Blaylock team of Keller Williams Marquis to help you find the perfect home or to help you get top dollar for your current home. Give Peyton or Emily Blaylock a call today at 618-780-4622 or visit them online at blaylockteam.com or on Facebook at the Blaylock Team. Brady Pest and Termite Management in Caseyville. Brady Pest and Termite Management is your local pest control source. The Midwest offers its fair share of pest problems, and Brady Pest and Termite Management is up to the challenge. Whether it's pesky rodents in the cold winter months or ants, spiders, and other pests in the warm months, Brady Pest and Termite is your solution. And termites? Brady Pest is tops in the Metro East and Termite Management. Do you have unwanted pests? Then call the best. Brady Pest and Termite Management in Caseyville. Call 343-1790 or on Facebook at Brady Pest and Termite.
Collinsville High School alumni Stacy Lauenstein, CHS class of 91, Lisa Bassetto, Sarah Sulke, and Tracy Limp, CHS class of 94, Tony Geisen, CHS class of 96, and Kevin Robinson, CHS class of 99, want to wish all of our Kahawks a great year. We look forward to cheering you on and supporting you. Work hard on the court and the field, as well as in the classroom. Remember, once a Kahawk, always a Kahawk. Hashtag Kahawk Family.
Your home is where you feel happy, safe, and secure. So if you see signs of foundation problems like cracks or uneven floors, worrying is natural, and getting it fixed is crucial. Woods Basement Systems understands. We've been solving foundation worries since 1986. Woods experts have the training and equipment to make permanent repairs. So stop worrying, because with Woods, it's fixed forever. Foundation problems don't get better with time, they get better with Woods, the all things basement-y experts. Call or go to woodsbasementsystems.com today.
First National Bank of Waterloo, celebrating over 100 years of banking. Visit First National Bank of Waterloo, now with locations in Collinsville and Maryville, for your mortgage and lending needs. Why? Super low closing costs, low construction loan rates, and they do so much to support our local communities. When you need a loan, call Bill Metzger at First National Bank of Waterloo at 345-1121, or visit them with their new locations in Collinsville and Maryville, or online at fnbwaterloo.com. First National Bank of Waterloo, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Cafe Agape serves up some of the best sandwiches, burgers, pork steaks, meatloaf, fish, and more in Collinsville. And yes, they still cater. Wedding receptions, luncheons, business meetings, and much more. And Cafe Agape is your destination for all of your holiday and party favorites, both main courses as well as delicious sides. Cafe Agape in Collinsville is the only place to pick up a Kahawk sandwich or dog and the new Flamin' Kahawk sandwich. Cafe Agape, check them out at 703 St. Louis Road. Give them a call at 345-CAFE, that's 345-2233, and don't forget to tell them Stewie sent you.
Once again, welcome back to This Week in Kahawk Nation. I am Todd Duke. Again, thank you very much for joining us here on the program as we still try to figure our way around everything without the world of sports on what is the Kahawk Sports Network. As we found out yesterday, new restrictions went into place by the governor in the state of Illinois, which means that winter sports have been put on hold for the foreseeable future. They say 3 weeks. I would tend to think it's probably not going to happen until the year 2021 rolls around. So we continue to roll with the punches. However, this is going to be our last show for a while. We, of course, next week is Thanksgiving, so we will not have a show that week. And we just decided that December would be a good time to step back and let everybody enjoy the holiday season. And I don't have to bother people for interviews. Neither does Athletic Director Clay Smith. And plus, there's big spike in COVID-19 going around too, so we figured we'll just shut everything down for a little while and let things play out and see where everybody stands at the beginning of the new year coming up. And once we do that, we'll have a better understanding on what sports and when sports is going to happen. All we do know is when it does happen, it's all going to get condensed into a very small amount of time, and it's going to come at you fast and heavy, and I'm probably going to be really, really busy for the first half of the new year. At any rate, big thank you once again to Kent Oberkfell. I know that we've already ran these episodes before, but we strung them all together and had them on one episode, and just wanted to thank him again for taking the time out and joining us for that interview. Another big thank you to Clay Smith. He didn't have anything to contribute to this program this week either, but behind the scenes, man, that dude is working his butt off and trying to get everything established. And once again, he's going to have to kind of throw away the basketball schedules and start all over again. So we know that he's very, very busy. But again, thank him for his participation in the previous shows, as well as helping to get this show off and running. So don't know when we'll see you again. Sometime in January, we'll either do another show or we'll have some sports for you. Hopefully the latter. Until then, my name is Todd Duke. And until that time, everybody, please do your best to stay safe, take care of you and your family, and we will see you again in 2021. Thank you.